artwork in the cafeteria together. Of course, with COVID, this was not a possibility. Ms. Lawler designed a digital art project this year that could be completed remotely. Students in classroom or at home watched step-by-step videos she created on how to make pixel art. Students were given 2 colors and 30 minutes to create the project, and the results were absolutely outstanding. Teachers and administrators even joined in on the fun. Next, the artwork was prepared for display by EFLS, Markham Chair Norma Jean Swiss, and designer Kate Durko swung into action. They brainstormed how to summarize the school year with a saying and featured an amazing pixel art. This resulted in an art display that stops everyone in their tracks. Markham Warriors never made from the artwork.
School year was like no other in the past, and in the art room, that was proven in one of many ways by not being able to use the supplies in the classroom. Students grabbed some colored pencils and 2 different Sharpies to create beautiful artwork. Ms. Lawler guided us through each project with a focus on the elements of art and the goal of building a strong foundation of art skills. This first subject we tackled was leaves. To begin the project, we studied famous artists who created still lifes from a diverse group of artists in terms of gender and historic time period. We studied leaves like a scientist, making observations and comparing ratios, finding proportions, studying anatomy, and creating realistic sketches. Next, we used repetition and color to create a composition saturated with colorful fall leaves in every direction, just like in the real world. Continuing with the nature theme, we moved to studying trees. For this project, landscape artists were observed and discussed. We once again used the steps of our scientists to realistically draw a tree silhouette. Multiplying the silhouette across the composition, the students in the class chose to create either realistic sunsets or sunrises, or fantasy colors for the background. Finally, for the last project, we explored line patterns in color to create Zentangle mountains. Zentangles are repeated patterns that are both fun and relaxing to create. 5th graders filled their composition with mountains, added Zentangles, and finally created beautiful sunsets by blending colored pencils.
This year in art studying shape, pattern, optical illusions, and drawing from observation. We began the marking period with our first art project, learning how to draw and add value to 6 different 3D shapes. Mrs. Lawler created YouTube videos of each shape in case we wanted to try to draw it again or miss a class session. In the background of these shapes, we added an alternating color pattern and used different values in the color to make the background look like a quilt. Before starting our optical illusion art project, we learned about famous optical illusion artists from diverse backgrounds. Next, we honed our ruler skills to create 3D optical illusion art. Then, to reinforce the effect, we added color in 2 values and shaded with a pencil in the spaces between shapes. To create the background, we created our unique black and white pattern, much like the optical illusion artists we studied. The final lesson was a still life of soda cans, both regular and crushed. This project allowed us to learn about the famous pop artist Andy Warhol, as well as successful graphic designers who create logos and industrial designers who create the products we use every day. The class learned about still life and how to draw from observation to create a drawing of the regular can that can be both uncrushed and crushed. The students were also allowed to be creative in inventing their own flavors of soda. Mrs. Lawler took photos of the soda cans and put the images into a computer program to change the color. Students then used the colorful cans to serve as inspiration for the flavors of soda they created. Some sounded palatable, like s'mores, passion fruit, watermelon, and dragon fruit, while others were funny, like grass and pavement punch.
Seventh graders explored abstract and realistic drawings this year. The class explored line, pattern, color, and value when creating abstract line art projects. Students used carefully placed values to create the illusion that the shapes were curved. Next, the seventh graders created drawings with many different elements, including spheres, a thick and thin curving line, and zentangles. We then combined all of these different components to create a fun and colorful art piece. Next, seventh graders learned about artists and architects when they created a room interior in a one-point perspective. Using a ruler or T-square with a piece of paper taped to cardboard to accommodate the dividers, students learned the steps and principles of creating rooms in one-point perspective. Ms. Lawler created a YouTube video for every step and possible item to add to the room so that students could make their own unique art projects.
including biology, architecture, and product design. Each student learned how to draw from observation by creating a shoe with all the elements drawn realistically. Then they were tasked with adding a theme without including words, which meant the message would have to be conveyed with color, texture, pattern, and composition. The results were astounding, and the projects were so creative, ranging from wild fantasy to designer-looking shoes that would fly off of the shelves in stores. In an exploration of composition and drawing, students created dynamic drawings of sea creatures. The animals seemed to burst from the compositions and utilized advanced pen and ink techniques and special color application rules. Finally, the group dove into two-point perspective, creating a city with 10 buildings, a sidewalk, repeating patterns, doors, windows, signs, and other elements in perspective. For this lesson, students learned how to utilize a T-square and frequently watched the dozens of YouTube videos Mrs. Lawler created for each step. Students explored architecture as a career and learned about famous architects and buildings around the world.